Hello. Would help if I had the music playing. That should ah why do I always stream at the same time as people I want to watch? It is my curse because I want to be a streamer. I want to stream. And like the thing is, if you want to be a streamer, you have to actually stream. You can't just be a V like I can't just be a V tweeter. Ah, come on. This might be loud. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's this thing where like if I want to be what's that noise? Oh, that song. Like what in the world? Like I want to stream, so I have to stream. But like Machina X Flayon is streaming right now too. All right. Let me let people know that I'm live. Hello, Stream Elements bot. Good to see you. Good to see you, Stream Elements bot. Question becomes, do I message Silva? Yeah, I will. All right. It's like it's really weird, because like there we go. Okay, cool. All right. I did it. Like so it's really weird because like let me get to actual chatting. Not just chatting page. Hello. Let me turn on the light behind my computer so that way my camera can actually pick up my face. So like Silva has expressed that like they enjoy watching my streams, right? But like I still always feel weird. Okay. And there we go. I still always feel weird asking them. Oh, Silva's playing some D&D. Oh, I hope they have fun. They're going off on crazy D&D adventures. Alright. Oh, this is a cool meme. I love it when the weather turns ugly because it makes the decision I already made not to leave the house for the whole day seem way more reasonable. It's hilarious. Yeah, this might be a slow stream tonight. And that's okay. Ask Chat GPT to greet you. Oh, hey there, Orion Star Hunter Mech Pilot Extraordinaire. How's it going? Ready to hunt down some stars and give them good old-fashioned noogie? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, Okusen. How are you doing? How have you been? Have you had any progress with the whole job thing? I remember you said something about like you took a week off for your mental health and they seem to have assumed that you quit or something. I remember you mentioned something like that. You haven't gone back to work yet? Oh, okay. Has having this time off given you time to like do things you needed to do? Like has it been a good thing for you? That's good. I'm glad. I obviously want good things for you. Like I had this weird thing. Like this might get a little triggering, so I'll give a bit of a trigger warning. But like I was just walking down the stairs today, and then my mind just suddenly went to this really bad place. And it just came completely out of the blue. It was like it just kind of flew in out of nowhere, and then I just like shook my head. I was like, what in the world? Where did that even come from? And it's like nothing really bad has happened today. It was just really bizarre. It was the most bizarre thing. I know, like most like I'm the guy. Yeah. And like I'd have to say one of my toxic traits is that I love to watch drama unfold. I love to watch powerful people and organizations show their whole butt and make absolute fools of themselves. So like the whole thing with I realize we just completely changed subjects, but like so like the whole thing with Twitter and Elon Musk buying Twitter, that was just a field day for me. And like I was deriving so much enjoyment from watching all of the chaos unfolding as people started publicly shaming businesses whenever they gave out Twitter Blue. Like I was deriving, it was just like a direct injection of happy chemicals into my brain, right? And like I'm not entirely sure if that kind of a relationship with social media is really healthy. Like I've also noticed that like if I'm feeling some kind of way, like deep emotional stuff, and I vent about it on social media, my head feels clearer. I can think through it afterwards. I just feel like I can process better, and then I can work through and deal with whatever well, not maybe not always deal with it, but I can process it better. And it's this bizarre thing, and there's part of me that's just like, that's not a very healthy way to interact with social media. So now what I've started to do is like I'll type it out, but then I'll stop before I hit send, and then I'll just reread it and I'll think about it, and I'll be like, does this fit my brand? Is this really the kind of thing that I want to be a part of my brand? And like I do this because I only have one Twitter. I have like I turn my personal Twitter into my VTuber Twitter. And there's a lot of stuff with identity and emotional stuff involved with that. So that's a whole that's an entire other bag of worms. And I can't vent about these things on Facebook because my actual family, people who know me in real life, will read those things, and they won't always understand that I'm venting, and there can be actual consequences to me venting, because when I vent, sometimes I'm overreacting, I'm feeling some kind of way, I'm deep in my emotions, and I'm saying all kinds of stuff that like I wouldn't be saying otherwise if I wasn't so lost in the sauce, right? So I've kind of the point where like I'll type it, I'll read it out, I'll be like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. Does this fit my brand? Does this fit what I want, the kind of content I want to be posting on Twitter? And a lot of times it doesn't, so then I'll delete it. But like just typing it out just helps me feel some kind of way. And it's like kind of like it's still kind of clears my head a little bit, and it just makes me wonder if I don't have if I just have a relatively unhealthy interaction with social media. But I have been kind of following this whole fiasco with Wizards of the Coast and D&D and the open gaming license. Like, I say it keeps getting better, and that's because it keeps getting more entertaining for me, and that's because it keeps getting worse. Earlier today, I listened to, because I don't know, are you familiar with what's happening with Wizards of the Coast and D&D and the open game license, Okusen? Turn on live chat. So there's a whole thing. So, there's this whole thing when, yeah, that's a really simple way to put it. So when Wizards released 3rd edition D&D, they released this thing called the System Reference Document and an open game license. And the open game license was a promise that they wouldn't sue people for making homebrew content, and that you could, that you didn't have to pay them to use D&D rules, mechanics, or like the D&D system in your RPG or in your stuff that you could publish online. Or well, they weren't really doing online publishing at the time. I guess kind of, but like that you publish somewhere. There wasn't a the fourth edition was not published under the OGL, but fifth edition was, and um, it was that's what led to a lot of the growth of fifth edition because people could freely homebrew and share their ideas, and some people built businesses around producing that content under the OGL with the promise that Wizards wouldn't sue them, and and this has also led to D&D being the biggest TTRPG, because there's always another homebrew, there's always more content, there's always another thing, for people who don't want to leave D&D. And I'm not entirely sure. I don't think that that's healthy for the community, and this is showing why that's not healthy for the community. Not that having choice isn't healthy, but having the majority of the community reliant on one game system and refusing to budge off of that one game system to experience anything else is something I don't think was healthy for the community. So there was rumors that with one D&D, the new D&D version that they're coming out with in 2024, that they weren't going to renew the OGL and that things were going to get weird, that things were going to get funky. And they released this thing way back, like I think a couple weeks ago, that was like, hey, we are updating the OGL, but don't worry, we're listening to what you're saying, we're keeping creators in mind. We are going to ask for some royalties if you make above a certain amount, but it's not going to affect most people, and it's going to be really simple, and it's going to be a smooth and easy transition, and we're going to take all the steps to help people with making this transition to the new OGL. And for a time, people were like, yeah, that's cool. And then a few days ago, some like reputable news sources in the TTRPG community got a hold of the leaked OGL 1.1, the entire document. Well, not the entire document. Like there was some parts where it said insert this here or whatever, where there's supposed to be a link or something. So I think it's still definitely like a draft. And they took excerpts from it and made news stories about it. And it is absolutely horrendous. And then I think it was earlier today, either today or late yesterday, those news sources released for download the PDF, or one of those news sources released the PDF of the entire OGL 1.1 in its current form. And I tuned in. It was like almost a 3-hour stream that I was listening to. I tuned in about an hour late, so I was only there for about 2 hours of it. Of this lawyer going through OGL 1.1 clause by clause, answering questions and talking about what all of the clauses meant. And oh my gosh, did this just burn every ounce of goodwill Wizards had with the community. Like, yeah. So, hey Nabiru, yeah, it's been complete. Like the D&D community has been kind of on fire, like getting their torches and pitchforks ready. Nabiru, it's been hilarious. So I'm gonna try something different this stream. First off, this music's a little. Why does the music always get so loud? Okay, come on. Okay, there we go. Okay. So I want to I want to try doing something different this stream, because I noticed that I only ever do like the calls to I only ever really do the call outs to ask people to subscribe and stuff at the end of the stream, and that's not very conducive for people watching the VOD. So now every time it comes up in chat with the stream elements thing, I'm gonna say it. So if you're enjoying the content, please feel free to subscribe, ding the notification bell to let you know whenever I go live, when I release any new content. Also, if you want to keep up with what I'm doing outside of YouTube, there's links to my Twitter and Discord in the description below. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled stream. I know over time it'll get more comfortable saying that in the middle of the stream, but I know I need to get some kind of reminder to say that in earlier parts of the stream, because I know that people react to it, which is like, and people are watching the VODs. But yeah, so Nabiru, the thing is, what's currently on fire at the moment is not the whole thing. Like, we haven't even started getting to their microtransaction hell that they're trying to put together of a virtual tabletop. We're not even touching that yet. What we're talking about at this point was maybe Nabiru, maybe. But the thing is, there are businesses that have built their business based on this OGL, and the third-party community is huge. And the thing is, the OGL 1.1, it claims to invalidate OGL 1.0a, which OGL 1.0a was what allowed Pathfinder to exist. Was what allowed so many other game systems like Mutants and Masterminds First Edition. So like there's a lot of like side game systems and side content that license going away puts them in jeopardy, and is gonna and unless something is done, they're gonna have to either completely rewrite their game system or stop selling certain books, or they're going to have to go to Wizards and make a deal. So all of the, and there's also this little caveat. Wizards gives themselves permission in the new OGL to take any third-party content anyone makes, whether it's a homebrew, whether it's whether they sell it or not, just anything you make, Wizards can take it, they can reproduce it, put it in their books, they can sell it, they don't have to give you credit, they don't have to give you a cent. They can just take your ideas, and that's literally in the contract. As well as a number of other things to just making homebrew stuff so frustrating that a lot of small content creators who were just making stuff for fun to share with their fans, just if it goes through in its current form, those people are just going to have to stop. They're just not going to be able to do the thing. So yeah, it's quite an experience watching a huge company that has so much goodwill, that people were so ready to believe them when they said it wasn't going to be that bad, and then watching them show their whole butt is like, it is quite entertaining and terrifying at the same time. And I saw someone who was the lawyer I was watching when he was breaking down the thing. Well, the thing is, Wizards is now owned by Hasbro, and Hasbro has been complaining that, well, they had a meeting not too long ago where they said that D&D is under monetized, and they're like any other soulless corporation, they're chasing capitalism's false promise of ever increasing profits. Like Wizards of the Coast made over $1 billion in profits last year, and that's not enough for them. They want more. So instead of investing in putting out new content and taking care of the customers better in order to get more profit and having more products to sell, they're taking the shortcut of just milking the third party and trying to drive everyone towards their stuff and taking everyone's ideas. Like, why make your own books when you can put out a license that says you can make a book? Like, if this license goes out, and someone was saying, like, if this license goes out, they can, at the end of the year, release a book that they will title the top Kickstarter projects, and then just release word for word all of the stuff from the top 10 Kickstarter projects for the last year. And they don't have to give any of the people credit. They don't have to pay a red cent to any of the people whose work they just stole. So why make a new book when you can just sell other people's ideas? I made a joke that, like, this is probably one of the last things to say about it because I don't want to delve on this too long. But like, I made a joke that, like, it sounds like the scheme of some 90s era Disney Channel original villain, Disney Channel original movie villain, some like greedy businessman who's trying to ruin the gaming for everybody else, and we need like a group of plucky protagonists, kids on bikes with some intense with good hearts and surprising business know-how to come up with some kind of a crazy scheme to use their whatever lesson they've learned that day to solve the problem and defeat the bad guy and save D&D. But yeah, that's all I'll say about that. There's so much I could go into about it. Like, it doesn't affect me because I'm not a D&D content creator. I play D&D, but like, I'm not gonna run D&D. Like, any interest I had in running Wizards of the Coast games just went out the window. Like, I'm not dealing with that company. If I want to run a fantasy game, I will learn Pathfinder. Like, though some people are talking about Pathfinder is possibly releasing a new edition that removes everything that referenced anything that was in the SRD, removing all of the OGL content, any references, any names, any descriptions, and completely changing everything from top to bottom to remove any last remnants in Pathfinder to D&D. So that way there'll be nothing familiar there at all. Like, they'll probably have to remove like the fighter, like the name. They'll have to call it something else. They already called like the Paladin Champion, right? But like all that stuff. That'll be interesting to see what that does. Yeah, pretty much, Nabaru. That face about describes it. All right. So we're going back to doing this outline, which I never finished. And I never decided how I'm going to finish it. This will be interesting. The thing is, you are probably correct, Naberu, that a lot of things will probably be the same. Like, a lot of things will probably be viable, but if Wizards of the Coast hasn't registered anything as Creative Commons, there's a lot of things that they can say are direct references to their work. And even if you're right, you're going to have to, like, people are going to have to prove it in court. And they said in the new OGL that all of the court cases have to be reviewed in Seattle, Washington, which is their county or whatever that they operate out of, which is like the headquarters of Boeing, has some a lot of Amazon stuff is there. So you're gonna get judges that are elected judges that are gonna be very business centric and business focused for those cases. So it can get really dark. Well, okay, so the words fighter and monk may not be able to be copyrighted, but those words, the expressions of them as fighter being used to refer to an in-game class that uses all weapons and all armor to fight as a martial class, monk as a reference to an in-game class that uses their fists and fights with their fists and body using a variety of martial arts and specialized weapons. Like, they can make an argument. It's not going to be super simple. Amusing and probably expensive. All right, I was on block 2, was it? Was I on block 2? What block was I on? Yeah, fun and games, juxtaposition. Okay. Okay. All right. There we go. Cool. Yeah, it would be, I guess, yeah, it would be amusing, and we would literally be watching them. We would be watching them burn their entire industry to the ground for the sake of making, like, their hope, I presume, is that the money they'll make off of all of this from, like, from forcing people away from third party. Oh my gosh, someone tried to copyright React? No, I wasn't gonna go that far, but like, so like in America, you can't copyright game rules, which means that, like, you can't copyright using a 20-sided die, for instance, right? and you can't copyright um like using the different sided die, rolling a 20-sided die, adding modifiers to determine success or failure. You can't copyright that because that's a mechanic. But what you can copyright is an expression of that mechanic, such as deriving points from an ability score that you then add to your D20 roll, and then using that equation from your ability score of like, your ability score is this much, so your modifier is this much that you add to your roll to determine if you fail or succeed. So it gets really messy. But like their whole, jeez, I said it was gonna be the last thing I talked about, but then I kept talking about it. I presume their hope is that they're gonna make more money on this, than they're going to lose from burning the goodwill of the community. They're hoping they're going to make enough money from milking the third-party market, from shutting down all of the other places to get content, so everyone has to get content through them. All the third-party content will have to go through the DM's Guild, and if you release content on the DM's Guild, you give Wizards of the Coast full rights and ownership of whatever you produce. So then they just don't have to pay as much to make books because they can just borrow everyone else's ideas. All right, and there we go. Cool. Let's get to writing. So we were in block 4. Hero explores a new world. Oh wait, no, this is the wrong one. There we go. There we go. Well, I might jump that. So the one thing I've wondered is like, how do I? So like, Hazel is my main character, and I want to have. I want the viewer to be following Hazel, but with my current design, the story is going to be following Grief in the final chapter. Which I guess that works if I have Hazel's final chapter be when they destroy the first bomb that they think is the final bomb, and then Grief's final act 3 is Grief defending the final bomb and putting the pieces into place to execute the final mission, right? Or I might just do. There's so much I want to do. Because like, okay, you normally want your act 2 to be twice as long as your act 1 and your act 3, right? So act 1, I have this whole long thing that follows, like there's one that follows Grief and the one that follows Hazel, right? Then we switch over to act 2, which is going to follow Hazel. And I have that planned out, right? And then I'm just wondering, where do I keep the timeline flowing, right? Or do I just cut short Act 3 and have Act 3 just end with Hazel? Because Hazel is the main character, is the protagonist. So this is the problem with writing two protagonists, right? Also, everything up to this part has been like moving in chronological order. Every one chapter takes place after the one before, right? Even whenever we switch from Hazel to Grief, it is taking place. Actually, no, that was one thing I wanted to address here. Yeah, no, we weren't doing chronological order. That's it. Now I remember my notes here. I wanted for this to be a while this was happening. So this was happening at the same time as the Grief Block 1. The Grief Act 1. Which technically makes the Grief part of Act 2. Yeah, that's the thing, Nabiru, like looking at that. So I have to make sure I keep that clear. So like whenever in the show that Silva and I are watching on Anime Night, Granbelm, one of the biggest complaints that I have with that show is that it is never clear where things are happening on the timeline. And you never know, like if you don't know how much time is left till a thing happens, if you don't know what time it is in the story, then you can't build tension. So it's not building any tension, it just feels really off. It's in a different area to a different person, so you can say it happened whenever, as long as it lines up once the two parties meet. Yes. I could actually do Act 3, like a combined one alternating between them, block for block. Why are the episodes out of order? Speaking of episodes out of order, right? One of the complaints that oh no. One of the complaints that like a lot of fans of I know that I'm jumping genres here, but there's this show called Firefly. And one of the complaints that people have leveled against Fox, I believe they were the ones who aired Firefly, saying that the company never wanted Firefly to succeed, right? Because racism or whatever, was that the episodes were shown out of order, right? I've never watched Firefly all the way through. I just know it's Western, it's a bit of an adult show. It's space Western, and I've heard a lot of great things about it, right? And everyone, like, not everyone, but a lot of people say that they showed the second episode first because they were trying to sabotage the show, right? Well, the first scene of the first episode is a sex scene between some customer and the sex worker that they have living in a pod on in the back of the ship. That is, and like whenever I told that to someone, they're like, "Oh yeah, I completely forgot that she was there." And I guess that like she's not a super like I guess I don't know how much her story even is relevant, but like that's not a scene you want for the very first scene people see. Like especially because I was watching it in a very like conservative household, we put it on and then we instantly had to turn it off. And like they never watched it, I never watched it because that was the first scene, and like that was just an instant turn off of just first scene was a sex scene. The show jumps between the two, the spider and the humans. It's like a 15-year time jump, but it's said like once the human mains are teens. Is there any outside signs to let you know that that time is jumping? I need to be careful I'm not too loud. Oh my gosh, I spent so much money on Yu-Gi-Oh cards today. It's ridiculous. Oh, that's so frustrating, Nabiru. The powerful mage talking about a spider they encountered 15 years ago. Then you hear the main spider girl's commentary about that moment at the end. Really? That sounds really frustrating to watch, Nabiru. I don't know what it is with me and having my main characters lose their home. I might be projecting. So how did the timeline work in the manga, Nabiru? Oh my gosh. Getting that skunk smell from the furnace again. It wasn't jumping back and forth so badly? Okay. Let me look at something. Well, let me think. What follows the end of Grief's story, which is the push where Grief finds out about what to do next. I'm gonna keep designing this as is because I haven't really put any words to paper. And I wanna get focused on that. What's the crisis? The crisis here. Do I want to mirror the crisis from Hazel? When you watch it, you really just want to say focus on your spider's main story. Stop jumping around back and forth because the human story is boring until the main spider shows up. Okay. You have arachnophobia? Oh dear, that must be really hard to watch then, Nabiru. Well, I've done this setup about like wondering if well, we're kind of resolving that because everything she does, she knows that there's no one that. So, what crisis would she be encountering at this point? Because the Spider Girl is cute, the others are horrible CGI. How bad does your story have to be for arachnophobe to say show the spider? Oh no! Oh no! 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 Not like that, Nabiru. Not like that. Also, it's an isekai. Oh, jeez. Well, hold on. Where does this take place? Because the two timelines should be interacting. This is taking place... If I'm having Act 2 take place during the Act 1 section of Grief, so then what's happening during that block 5 for Hazel? That would be block 2 for Grief. This timeline doesn't line up. There should be references here to the mole. There should be references to the mole in Grief storyline. That should be the connecting factor. But at this point in the storyline, like at this point, like it doesn't, it's running into a problem because at that point in the storyline, I guess I have to introduce the governmental forces. So I have to actually write that as a neutral third party, as that's the one that's resisting them. Okay, Christ's identity's been leaked by Mole. Which I have to come up with a name for the governmental forces. Block 3. Okay, so it's gotta be, so 4, 5, it's gotta be in block 6, is when the pirates start showing up in Hazel's story. I'm going to shorten governmental forces to GFs. I'll put that in my notes because I'm going to have to make the governmental forces an actual character to express in this. Okay. Governmental force. So GF. Okay. So let me go back here. This part. I'll introduce the governmental forces here. Delivering to the capital. Okay. So we're going to introduce the governmental force back here. Okay, so we're going to introduce the governmental force back here. Okay. Because that was one thing in my first draft was I had these large time skips when I was jumping back and forth between points of view. That was causing these huge time skips. That I think made it hard for me to follow the story and keep the story moving. Because there were just some key elements and points that I was building up to that were just happening off screen. Hey Nexus Sheep, how are you doing? It's good to see you. How have you been? Doing a writing stream tonight. Okay. I'm doing all right. It's been an interesting day. I had pretty good. So, well, kind of. Right now I'm working on plotting out one of my work in progress. This story was what got me back into writing and got me where I first started challenging myself to write every day. And this story was what really pushed me to do that. Um, but it was also where I was finding my voice and finding my rhythm. But then when National Novel Writing Month hit, I decided to shelve it in order to start a new project to write a novel out of my VTuber lore, and that was what I focused on finishing at the end of last year. And I still have to go back and edit that, but I want to ease back into the writing process before I jump straight into editing my first draft of my VTuber lore novel. So I'm picking this back up and just working on plotting right now. I'm working on trying to organize this. So this story, it features it features two kind of protagonists on two opposite sides of a conflict. Um, and um, it's gonna be kind of messy trying to like keep the story flowing properly. And that's one of the things I'm trying to do is trying to line up and make sure that like I have setup, payoff, setup action, setup, payoff, setup, payoff, where I'm setting things up early in order to make the payoff more satisfying. So that's one thing that I'm trying to do right now. I'm just plotting it out. And if I know, I found one of the things I found with my lore novel was that I had a really strong outline. Having a really strong outline just really helped me with writing. And I think I just figured out how I'm going to do the last act. Um, blah, blah, blah. This is all. Thank you, Nexus. Thank you, Nexus Sheep. It is a lot. It's a lot to try struggling with. Like, I had a pretty good day today, but like I had this weird thing where like I was just walking down the stairs to come back downstairs to where I do my writing. And my brain just went to this really dark place. And it was really bizarre. And like I kind of just shook it off for a second after it happened, and I was just like, where did that even come from? So I'm just trying to not let that bother me too much, but like also acknowledge that it happened. Okay. Do So the problem that I'm gonna go with as the thing that's like the crisis of this new world is that Phlox still somehow thinks that Grief can save the world. Phlox is Grief's first mate, first officer, and he's the only one who knows about her secret identity. But wait, can I play that differently? Hold on. Phlox introduced her to the scientist, so then it wouldn't make sense for him to instantly turn on her. I'm debating instead of using a Word document, using an Excel spreadsheet. I saw someone talking about a way to do the outlines using an Excel spreadsheet where you have the one column for like the brief description of the chapter. So then the rows are the chapters, and then the columns are like pieces of the chapter. And each column is a separate plot line because you're not going to deal with every plot in every chapter, but then you can keep track of what plot developments happen in what chapters in order to make sure that each development leads into the next development. And I'm not sure if that might be better for this. You know, we're gonna mirror. We're gonna mirror the crisis, because the crisis for Hazel was that a mole, his identity's been leaked. So to her crew, and we're just gonna deal with it differently. Uh, mm, but Nexus, how have your streams been? I've only been able to turn into a few of them. This must, like, I know time zones are a weird thing. Is this like super early for you, Nexus? Just want to stop real quick here, and it's currently 10:40 a.m. Oh, okay, that's quite early. That's like brunch time. So one thing I'm working on is I'm trying, because I know a lot of people watch my VODs, but not a lot of them watch all the way to the end. So what I'm trying to do is to remember and remind myself to like plug the Discord, ask people to subscribe in the middle, like I would like have an insert in the middle of a video, So if it seems awkward, just know this is my first stream trying to do this. And over time, it will hopefully get easier. I just want to say, if you want to follow whatever I'm doing on YouTube, you can hit the subscribe button and ding the notification bell to let you know whenever I release any new content or when I go live. If you want to follow what I'm doing outside of YouTube, you can join the Discord or follow me on Twitter. Links to both of those are in the description. Yeah, thanks, Nexus. You cool if I call you Nexus? Because saying Nexus Sheep like it's 2 words. You cool if I shorten it to Nexus? Or would you prefer if I called you Sheep? Nexus, Nex, Sheep. I'll call you Nex. Nex sounds cool. I don't think I've ever called anyone Nex before. Nexus I know is the name of like video games and stuff, but Nex sounds cool. Then 15 reversal. So one cool thing I like about being on YouTube is that my VODs are automatically saved here and that they don't go away. And I see some people go and actually watch my VODs, but the people who watch my VODs very rarely make it all the way to the end of the stream. So I wanted to start getting into practice of saying subscribe and stuff in the middle of the stream. in order to like get that out there because people react to it. Yes. Yeah, so like for a 3-hour VOD, not everyone's going to be able to go through that. Some people won't make it all the way to the end. Okay, then we get to block 6. So this is going to be interesting because the problem that Grief was freaking out about has been resolved. But what Grief is going to be, I think this is going to be focusing on following up on more of the finishing up more of the research, and I still haven't figured out exactly how Grief is gonna sabotage the survival bunkers of the government. I have to figure all that out. That's gonna probably put me on a few watch lists with all the research I'm gonna be doing. Thank you, Nex. Thank you, Nex. So, I guess I should probably tell you the story. Um, so this takes place on this world where they use it's like a cyberpunk futuristic world, but they use plants for all of their technology. All of their technology is some kind of special plant. And then at the beginning of the story, the government declares that humanity has reached a dead end in their technology and that they're going to exterminate everyone. And then it gets revealed that um, only some of the people are getting exterminated. Some people who toe the company line and are willing to bow down to what the government wants are going to uh, sorry, I almost muted myself. Um, are gonna survive into a new world order. Um, and so there's two sides of this. There's Hazel Adelia, who becomes one of the leaders of the rebellion, trying to stop this super bomb from getting made. And then there's Grief Stormblood, who is this air pirate that ends up getting used by the government in order to defend their bases. But they each have these different viewpoints, right? So Hazel is trying to do the protagonist hero thing and save the world, stop this from being made, um, to sabotage its creation and trying to just stop all this from happening. But Grief, she has this very dark view of humanity. He believes that every advancement in humanity only exists to solve a problem that humanity created, and that nothing good and new is being made, and that as such, she believes that humanity needs to end in order for something new to rise up and create a better society. So, Grief's whole plan is to sabotage the bunkers that the government wants to use in order to save themselves. Um, in order to just destroy everyone. But then Grief also makes a deal with this scientist who says he's developing this single-celled organism that will survive the explosion and that will, in a few 100 million years, re-evolve back into humanity. That will start the evolutionary chain that will eventually lead into the re-emergence of humanity. Um, and so that is Grief's hope that when humanity re-emerges in a few 100 million years, that they will go down a different technological path and not run into the same dead end that she feels that humanity has run into right now. So it gets a little bit twisted. So when I first started writing this, I had a really really weak outline. I had this really weak outline. I didn't know what I was doing. It was my first time making an outline for one of these since I was in grade school. Well, I mean, I think I did some stuff like this in college. But yeah, anyway, it's my first time doing this in a long time. So like, I I wrote all this and I was trying to write, but I kept getting lost. Like I was at like 40,000 words and I was only like halfway through the story, right? And that's why I'm redoing the outline. I'm going to do a complete rewrite of the story. I might keep some parts, but a lot of it's just going to be a rewrite with those same ideas, but I'm going to have a stronger chapter by chapter outline because I found that when I knew what I was supposed to do in each chapter, it really helped me like hone in on what I wanted to write and it helped the words flow so much better. But thank you, Next. It has been a growing process. Nabaru will tell you, she's been watching me since I did my when I was like in full swing. Okay, Silva, card games on motorcycles. It's good to see you too. I thought you were playing D&D. Oh, that's good. How was the adventure? Did you you were playing, you were doing this stuff. Yeah, did you all get uh you almost died. Did you get a level up? You got a level up. Great. That's exciting. Y'all further ahead of me. This is hard. So like one thing next about my writing, like when I was doing so National Novel Writer Month in America is November. And there's this big challenge to write an entire novel in the month of November, start to finish, 50,000 words, whole 9 yards, right? Um and at first I wasn't going to do it. But then I saw one of my friends posting about it on Twitter and I was like, "Oh, that seems really fun." So then I threw together an idea and it was like halfway through the month when I started. And then like at the end of November, I was halfway through the novel. So then I decided to push for another like 2 or 3 weeks. It was like 2.5 weeks, and finish the first draft. So it still took about a month to do, like a month and a few days. Um, but when I was in that heyday, I was cranking out around 2,000 words a day, and it felt so good to just fly through that. And I could only do that because I was keeping my chapters really short. So my each chapter was about 2,000 words. And so I was like, I just have to write 2,000 words on this topic. And since I had a really strong outline, every time I always knew what I was writing about because I was writing about whatever that chapter was supposed to be about. And so that's why I'm trying to apply this method, the 27 chapter method, to my original story in order to flesh it out properly and get a design that I can work with efficiently. See, there's one thing that bugs me, right? In this part here, block 5 of Hazel's story, Hazel's identity gets leaked by a mole. So that means that by the time Grief has started working with them, which is a block 2 of Grief's story, right? No, it's block 3 of Grief's story, right? Well, end of block 2. Um, So end of block 2. So from that moment, at that point, right, Grief already knows who Hazel is. So I want to hint at this. I can do this. I can do this. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so then I'm introducing here in Grief's Chapter 7, I'm introducing the mole, which then I start talking about in block 5 of Hazel's story, Chapter 13, because of where the time happens, this links up. Okay, all right, cool. I still have to figure out what the way she's going to be sabotaging the bunker is going to be. I have to figure out how exactly do you sabotage a bunker. That's one thing I'm going to have to figure out at some point. But for now, I'm just going to say she finds a new method for sabotaging the bunker. Drop a putrid stick bomb that would sabotage something. Make it unsuitable or just miserable to use. I don't like that description. It doesn't suit what I want for this, because this is supposed to be the hero tries to do something and then finds out that it doesn't work. Things don't all go to plan. What did I say they're ruled by? Did I say they were ruled by some kind of council? So they were. What did I say they were ruled by? Some kind of. There's a civil oversight committee. Okay, I'll just say it's some kind of high council. I try and pay too much attention because I want to read this, but did I just overhear a Silva cameo? Yes, Silva was here. Silva just showed up in chat. If you scroll up in chat, you'll see Silva was here. I didn't put Silva in the story, if that's what you're asking. That would be interesting, putting some chat members in the story. That would be an interesting play, Okusen. You bring up interesting suggestions. Yes, a wild Silva did appear. No, it was called the Civil Oversight Committee, not the Silva Oversight Committee. Yes, there has to be an entire committee to oversee Silva. Yes, Okusen. There needs to be an entire committee to oversee everything Silva does. It's the only way we can keep Silva in line. Dude, I'm gonna try to keep the chapters on this short just because there's gonna be so many chapters. Yes, speak the name and they shall appear. That is the best way to summon Silva, is just start talking about them. Their ears will start ringing. Never, Silva. We always talk about you. I think I had her wondering this before. Then we get to Act 3. Now, Act 3 is going to be a combined act where I'm going to tell both of their stories in the same chapter. What is this? Block 7. Okay, so we've been making pretty good progress so far. We're almost done with this outline. This is going to be the hard part, because for this part, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to tell both perspectives in the same chapter, moving back and forth between them, because this is going to be the chapter in which they're crossing paths. This is going to be the act in which they're crossing paths most often. So I'm going to be having them in direct conflict with each other, consistently throughout the story. That wasn't the button I wanted. Come on. There we go. That was the button I wanted. My picture editor just crashed on me. All right, so this is I like the description better on this picture, which is calling it calm before the storm. Then we get to the plot twist and then the darkest moment. But this is going to be like, as things get really bad for Hazel, we're going to see things getting really good for Grief. All right, so what has Hazel been up to? Hazel, so okay. I'll say Hazel's just been struggling to fight back and has just been going through trials. They're not meeting here yet. So I want the reveal to be that the mole was Hazel's best friend. Okay. That's better. Okay. This is the plot twist. I want this plot twist. Could be plot twist for both of them. The mole was... What's the best friend's name? I forgot, and it's like Flay or Frey. Not Flay. Burn. Okay. We're almost to the end of this outline. So this revealed was that the mole was Fern, and then um that is kind of this is resolving that mole plot line that we introduced earlier in the story. Okay. Ooh. Block 8. Do power within. All right. So this one is where like Hazel needs the power within because Grief is winning. Hmm. Converge. Now this is where the plots start to come together, as all of these pieces start to come together, bringing together the two plot twists and the midpoint, right? Okay. This is where the plot. All right. Um. So this is the part where the stories start to converge, and we go back because they've been going back and forth. There's been this like political drama, and Hazel needs to step back up, get back into the field to go from being a uh, a planner, a person working on the back line, to getting back to leading from the front. Okay. Block 9, the final block. This is the one that's deceptively named because it's not going to be. Well, you'll see. Did I spell that wrong? Mm. And this is the ending that I think is going to set it apart. It's kind of depressing, but I hope it's kind of hopeful. And it was one of the things that drew me to this story idea. Um, was the idea of telling just a different kind of story, a story where the hero isn't guaranteed success. Yeah, that is definitely deep and fun, and I think I like how this is going now that I've shaped it differently. It's funny. I'm talking with my hands right now, but I don't have hand tracking, so you can't see any of it. Um, but I think it's very interesting the way that this story has formed itself. All right, so this is the resolution, which is gonna be that they crash into the side of the last bunker that Grief couldn't sabotage. Last thing they see before the bomb goes off is a griffin in a cage, which pays off Hazel's obsession with griffins in the beginning of the story, and then Grief narrates the ending, telling how the bomb destroyed humanity and their technology all came to decompose, becoming the fossil fuels that we use today. The bomb was so powerful that it kicked off the geological movement that led to the supercontinent breaking up into the familiar shapes we know today. And like this is where it gets kind of dicey. Like it um yeah, fun. Um because it almost sounds like the entire point of the story is like justifying or glorifying fossil fuels. But like I saw one thing, I think it was uh there was this one commenter that was talking about it. It's like, listen, you know, a century ago, years ago, humanity discovered fossil fuels, was able to discovered coal, and was able to extract from that so much energy that it completely revolutionized human society. And that's not like that's not something we can ignore. Like, yes, we want to move past those fuels, right? But we can't ignore what they did for us. Also, I feel I'm a little concerned because I feel like the story could be seen as kind of a dehumanist thing, a dehumanist viewpoint, where like the one who was technically right, the one who technically won, was Grief, whose entire viewpoint was that humanity needed to not exist, or like that rendition of humanity needed to not exist. All right. Now I gotta like actually number these. Nine. 14. Okay, so that's 18. Then we're up to 19. This is gonna be a long story. Okay, this is wow. This is gonna be. I'm wondering if this is gonna break 100,000 words because I'm doing so much writing with it. Okay. Five. Terminator Judgment Day is inevitable. Yeah, something like that. I'm inevitable. Yes, exactly. All right, 45 chapters. That means if I maintain my 2,000 word goal, I'm looking at about 90,000 words. Which is kind of like, that's kind of where I want to be for like this novel. I want to be around 90,000 words for completion. Which is kind of the track I was on with my first draft, but that first draft was just so lost in the sauce that it just wasn't going anywhere good. I know this wasn't like originally intended. Normally for the original design, you wanted like a 3,000 word chapter. But you don't want to go above 100,000 words for your first novel, because if you ever want to get it actually published, and you're an unpublished author, publishers apparently won't. From what I've heard, publishers won't look at you if your story is over 100,000 words. So my goal is to keep this below 100,000 words. I mean, I'm probably going to be self-publishing anyway. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try for traditional publishing. I gotta try. Because you never know, might get picked up, might get a book deal, someone might like it. And yeah, because that's a lot of work. Like getting something put together and getting something put to print and getting it polished and edited and all that other stuff is expensive, and a lot of times I think like the publisher, like part of the publishing contract is that they'll help out with something. I don't know all the ins and outs. I don't know all the stuff. But I just know that like the publisher has to front a lot of money. And when you get a deal, they normally are paying you based on what they think the book is going to earn. And longer books are more expensive to make. So like they're not going to dump out that money if they don't think they're going to make it. They're not going to make it back. Sorry, I had a booger that I couldn't get at. It was like in my nose and I could feel it. All right. This has been an adventure. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put this outline. I save it up. I save it on the cloud. Um, it's gonna be a whole thing. Um, uh, just trying to maintain that pace. I don't know. Like if I do one chapter a day, 2,000 words a day, right? This thing will take 45 days. That is best case scenario. That is best case scenario, 45 days to write. Um, realistically, to write this, it's probably gonna take probably like 50, maybe 60 days to write. Just because some days I'm not gonna get the full 2,000 words, and some chapters might end up being more than 2,000 words. It's not. I'm not gonna cut the thing off mid sentence if I just get from from 1999 to 2000. You know. But I do have to be careful with that because I don't want to go over 100,000 words, and this is going to be a long story. Like this is going to be 50% longer than my lore novel is currently. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, it's something like that, Nabiru. There's also a lot of stuff I gotta figure out because I gotta figure out how to write naval combat. Like, writing the giant robot combat was hard. That's one of the things I'm gonna have to do in my second draft of my lore novel. Is I have to make the name Oriansenshi more prominent in the story, and I have to I have to make the name Oriansenshi more prevalent in this story, and I have to actually describe more combat scenes and get better at writing the combat, and writing stakes and intensity. I might have to outline some stuff for the combat for the second draft of the lore novel. But after that, like for this story, I need to get better at writing naval action and naval combat. Um more than just this ship shot this ship. In a fight, one of the things you want is you want to build tension. You want to set stakes, you want to set goals. And one of the things I've been learning is that like when you're writing a fight, don't want to write a play-by-play of every single thing they do. You want there to be a series of attempting something. Does it succeed? Yes or no. If it does succeed, okay, write about it succeeding. If it doesn't succeed, explain why it didn't, like show to the viewer a bit of why it didn't succeed, and then have that lead into the next goal, and then have it be goal-oriented writing for the combat. And I need to get that down really well in order to write some really like intense and brutal and gripping combat. That's not just the ship flew by and shot the other ship. They shot at the other ship some more and they missed and they blew up the other ship and then they went by and dropped their charge. Oh, what's it remind you of, Nabiru? Oh, Owl City uploaded a new Owl City video? That's interesting. But yeah, let's go on a wind down for a little bit. Alrighty. A YouTuber I followed did a story that was just that. He talked about a story he made in like first grade. His fans clung onto it and even made an animation so we could never forget the cringe. Oh no. It's called Shots Flyered, spelled like that on YouTube. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Thank you all for coming along on this adventure tonight. I realized this was a Guerilla stream. Last night when I was streaming, I said the next stream was going to be Friday. I said in my stream end post that the next stream was going to be Friday. And I was completely ready for the next stream to be Friday. But then I realized I didn't have Lancer tonight. Alien spaceship and evil spaceship that went zap, pow, got hit, got angry, shot back. Oh no. Oh no, not like that. Not the zap pow. Baba boom bam. If you ever see it, it's very cringe but funny. Okay. Hmm. Do. All right. Very cringe but funny. That sounds interesting. Let me see if there's anything cool to talk about. Ah, this um artist I follow on Twitter who does mechs is working on this really cool art of this mech that looks so cool. I'd share it, but I don't. It's a work in progress, and it's not my art. And of course, Open D&D is still trending. Ba, 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 ba. People are planning a call-in campaign for Wizards of the Coast. That's funny. All right, don't think there's anything else to talk about. But let me see if there's anything cool on Facebook. I was just browsing Twitter to see if there was anything cool that I wanted to talk about. Just more stuff about the whole Open D&D stuff. Just gotta wait. One day a hero will rise up to defeat the corrupt wizards and restore balance back to the D&D realm. Yes. Yes. Saw a meme that someone said, "So sometimes I like to flirt just to see if I still got it. I don't." Oh. There's nothing more representative of Doctor Who. Every single Dalek story plays the fact that the Daleks are involved as a reveal. Every single Dalek story has the word Dalek in the title. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. Let me see. I should see if someone would be willing to GM Pathfinder. Oh, that would be exciting. I'm wondering, so like, I don't know if you were here for the earlier discussion, Okusen, but there's talk of, yes, exactly, Nabarro. Some people are wondering if, in response to the new OGL that's happening, actually, I think I told you, I think I said this earlier, that Pathfinder might release a new version that doesn't contain anything from the SRD. Like, no references whatsoever. Completely separate institution entirely. Completely free of all references. All the descriptions, everything changed. Nothing left. But yeah, that would be fun to play some Pathfinder. Oh, this meme is hilarious. Hold up, I gotta share this meme. I gotta share this meme. Mom saying no, me as a kid asking for a puppy. My mom asking for grandchildren, me saying no. I just thought that was hilarious. The Rowlet just... Yes, the perfect counter. I saw one comment that says, me giving her a puppy. One of the commenters had the perfect response. That said, me giving her a puppy. Yeah, mom asking for grandchildren, me giving her a puppy. I just had to share that meme. Alright. Groudon and then crits with Rock Slide. Yes, Okusen. Yes. Wait, no. Hold up. Wait. Why would you do this? Rowlet is part grass. Is that representing what our what our parents did to the markets, to the housing market. Wanted to associate Rock Slide with something like that? Yes. Weedcat's final form is one of the most popular and cultured currently. Oh no, not cultured, not the cultured Pokemon evolution, Nabiru. Not the cultured Pokemon evolution. Nabaru Oversight Committee is #1 on the to-do list. Oh no. Do we need a Nabaru Oversight Committee? Greatest part, there's a YouTube channel all about cultured Pokemon, Drunk Oak. Oh no, Nabaru. Ooh, this is a good meme. I love public libraries because they are built on the principle that books are so important and so necessary to human flourishing that access to them cannot depend on your income. That is a powerful statement. Alright. Whenever I try to eat healthy, a chocolate bar looks at me and snickers. Oh, everyone talks about Baby Yoda, but no one talks about Baby Godzilla. I gotta share this one. Everybody talks about Baby Yoda, but nobody talks about Baby Godzilla. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. It's adorable. It's adorable. Godzuki, yes. I don't know if that's what's actually called. It's been so long since I watched Godzilla movies. My cousin, when I was growing up, was obsessed with, well, not obsessed. He was very passionate about Godzilla movies. He'd seen all of them. Godzuki is the Barbera Hanna-Barbera Godzilla cartoon of Baby Godzilla. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Oh my gosh. Just saw someone do a deep dive on something in Doctor Who lore. It's funny. There were, yeah, there were, I believe, 2 Godzilla cartoons. The one that reminds me of the old dinosaur Simca. Aw. It's never too late to become unhealthily obsessed with a niche television show that went off the air years ago. That is so true. If that doesn't describe my interaction with anime, I don't know what does. Okay. Anyway. Alright. Ash walking out of the Pokemon series without ever buying Misty a new bike. That's funny. He never did get her that new bike. It's just me and my Ziploc bag of loose Advil against the world. Oh my gosh, these memes. If I win the lottery, I probably won't tell anyone, but there will be signs and just a picture of tons of dogs sitting on a stairway. Tons of tiny dogs. All right. Well, ba, 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 ba. We were literally born onto a planet that grows food. How did we F up so bad that I got a credit score? That's hilarious. All right. Well, so now let's do the actual outro now that I've been saying it all stream long. We had a lot of people come through this stream. It was nice. I'm glad I streamed today. Nabaru, Okusen, Nex, Silva, and anyone else who watched and lurked, and anyone who watches the VOD. I want to say that I love all of you, and I believe in each and every one of you. I think that you all are unique, precious, and important. I believe that you all have a one-of-a-kind, special, and valuable energy that only you can bring to everything that you do. I think that you all make this world a better place just by being in it, and I'm grateful every day to live in a world with you in it. Thank you for giving me your time and your attention to watch my stream and to be a part of this community, the Star Hunters. Always remember the Star Hunter motto: shoot for the stars, have wonderful adventures, live your dreams, and always stop to enjoy the meme. I hope you have yourselves a good night. Also, if you could like the stream, it helps the algorithm with showing it to other people. Also, if you're watching the VOD and you have any suggestions, thoughts, comments, questions, things you think I could do better, things you think I could do more in the future, you can feel free to leave those as comments on the VOD as well. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing on YouTube, then feel free to hit the subscribe button and ding the notification bell. And that'll let you know whenever I go live, when I release any new content. Hopefully new content's coming soon. I have to talk to my editor to see what that's going to look like. So we'll see what that looks like in the future. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing outside of YouTube, then you can follow me. You can follow me on Twitter or join the Discord to see whatever I get up to there. Links to both of those are in the description below. Always remember, you never have to donate to be a part of this community. You don't have to pay to give me to enjoy the content. You don't have to pay to be here. But if you ever feel motivated to donate to improve my life or to improve the stream, there are links where you can do that in the description below. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Next stream is going to be Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, EST. Have yourselves a good night, and thank you all for being amazing, and thanks for coming on this adventure with me.